Okay, hello viewers, Sun Service here, back with more Admiral Dreadnoughts as Portugal, and I've done the turn move on because it kind of needed to be done, and we now have a fleet meeting with the Italians, or I think it's the Italians. The Italians are the only one in a placement to actually fleet meeting with us, so... yeah, it is with the Italians, and it's with our Star Fleet, so it's an entire battleship formation. Let's go and fight it. Now, I am going to refrain from saying a certain thing I was thinking about saying until there's a clear result with the vassal, because then I can say it without then dooming myself to defeat. So we have the victory in the lead. Then we have the light cruisers, which will take up point behind. And then the torpedo boats are to leave because we already... I think they're going to be running out of fuel before we even get close enough to actually fight with them. It's just knowing that a lot of our early ships haven't had refits yet, and so are still quite low range. Definitely thinking though, once this fight is done, a lot of our older ships are probably going to go for a refit. Right. Or do we fight Japan and China and then decisions? This is an all-armor piercing case, as it's entirely battleships we're up against and not... no cruisers, no nothing. So... down to 7 knots. That accounts for everyone's cruising speed. As yes, while the victories is 10 knots, the others would have different speed, sorry. dead. I think we move on to the Gloria here now. We get the Gloria and then we go for the Doge's Honor. Doge's Honor, and then the top, then like the large formation over that way. But for now, I'm going to make turns. Okay, we have to readjust our fire towards the more present threat now, which is Littorio and the other incoming enemy battleships. We've gotten a little too close. A little too close for my liking. So we need to bring speed. Littorio has been sent to the bottom as well. And grand scheme, this little mistake of getting too close hasn't Seriously? Seriously? No. Stupid Dreadnoughts. Still a bit hot. Right. But yeah. That wasn't an on purpose I left the game thing. If it were that, we'd be having to be in a massive defeat situation. No. I wouldn't do when we were so expertly killing them. Now, I actually do want to see at some point if DIP has actually been updated recently, because I know Monroe had to for DIP. What's the word? He had to... He had to, for his own needs, up Portugal's base stuff and everything. Yeah, there hasn't been at least for the Nexus side of it, update since I installed it, so yeah. Maybe soon. Maybe as well it sorts out the gun models. Well, some of the gun models as well, I'm finding a lot of like the Mark II guns are oversized for a lot of the hulls in the game. They're aggressive. But yeah, there's that sort of cool shadow effect on the hull of the like tumble home ships here again. Victoria doesn't have it, but like you just get this cool looking shadow effect with the tumble home hulls that I quite like the look of. Now we are in a case of we still do have to act careful regardless, because I've got ships here that each individual one represents near bankruptcy for when we tried to build them. Well, when we built them. And each one of them getting replacement is going to lead to bankruptcy or near bankruptcy. So I gotta be very careful with what I do with my ships here. With that in mind, I'm going to start angling the ships, with my two lead ships being the ones that have the best possible safe arcs of fire being from their stern, because they have two superimposed guns on their stern. Like, thinking about that way might actually be a better thing in future fleet lineups, to have either the Pedro Alvarez or the Victory in the back. Just as then at the back of the formation, in like a run away situation, you've got essentially the firepower of two of a standard pre-dreadnought. And then it would be of a more powerful gun as well if the Victory's at the back. Be a 12 instead of 11. Although we didn't repeat the single front, two rear layout with the Dreadnought. We've stayed somewhat in the regular ABX area with that one. Right, cruisers, cover yourselves. If any of you like cruisers do have torpedoes that you can send them. But I'm gonna have you guys turn to port and just leave, if possible for you to leave. So yeah, the Forza is next. And the Forza won't... Oh, hey Avocado, I saw you appear and use this in chat. Right. Alright, come on. Wait, my light cruisers are actually doing stuff? Hold on. The Italian ships are going all circle. They tried to do what the Japanese tactic that they did in Tsushima. Like once they crossed the enemy's T, they essentially started circling around each other, and that essentially started a rotation of fire that the ship that was closest to the Russian formation would then fire their guns towards the Russians and then peel off back into the circle during its reload. It was pure coincidence, Avocado, because I saw the two of you. It's like, let's see if it's someone who can chat, and saw your username. So, as if I have two viewers, it means then that there's one like public viewer, as it counts me watching this through the stream manager as a view. So but then to check using chat, I just on the my chat section have to click the three dots and press users in chat to then figure out who's there. Okay, so the Gloria is next in the line of getting clubbed by us. Fine if you're not. Yeah, way better with the angles anyway. But Yeah, Avocado, we're actually doing quite well against this Italian force. Well enough, I'm going to say what I was originally going to say when we first encountered them. This fleet has already overperformed, and I have full confidence that it's going to succeed. That was the thing I mentioned at the very start of this stream, that I didn't want to say until I knew how the result of this battle was going. And literally as soon as I said that, the Victory gets her rudder jammed up by a 10-inch shell to the stern. Yeah, as our 5-inch extended plating is not meant to withstand 10-inch shells. It is meant to withstand our 6-inch shells. Right, Littorio, I think, is a goner by this point. So we move to the Gloria now. Move to the Gloria, and we hope that, yep, some of Littorio's crew have taken to the boats. Which means we'll have a nice couple of POWs. But yeah, Gloria is a goner now, so it's only just the battleship there, which I don't know the pronunciation of, and then the battle is won. So, this seems rather anticlimactic for a fleet battle of this era, with no dreadnoughts involved by any side. As again, the most major hit they got was a penetrating hit through a 5-inch piece of armour. Like, yeah, the light cruisers, virtually undamaged. Most of the battleships as well are virtually undamaged. Most of the battleships from my side, sorry, are virtually undamaged. Whereas the Italian fleet, need I say any more? Then bye-bye to those 8 battleships. We are winning, I will agree. I'll agree out of pity. And in a temporary move, I'm going to move this fleet. I'm going to move this fleet into Mozambique. Just purely for... purely so then we can go through with repairs and recuperation of the formation. While we consider our next moves. which could be... Now, our next moves is either going to be against China or Japan, so... We have a set target, we just now need to make up game plans for those select targets. Say, avocado. Of the enemies we currently have left, because the Italians are about to wave the white flag, well, have waved the white flag, who do you think we should focus down first, the Japanese or the Chinese? We we have one or the other to go for. Just thinking, maybe against China we try for Formosa and Penghu. Try for Formosa and Penghu, and then maybe from there we march up to Okinawa. Or we just go straight to Okinawa. That is a thing. We got 2 ships there. Regardless, though, we're going to have to wait until repairs get conducted and completed. Which is now done, so... Again, avocado, what do you think? Do you think we should go for China, or should we go for Japan? I am seeing the Chinese fleet though, and I'm like tentatively thinking no, because yes, while my fleet has an impressive record of surviving massive fights it probably shouldn't survive, don't really want to risk it. I'm going to send the Impero down to Mozambique. I'm going to set everyone's in being that's in port right now, and we're going to have a temporary... I'm going to put everyone on temporary leave, basically. Turbines in 6 turns. We now have Dreadnought 3, which we could build something for, but... Flip a coin. Okay, so if I got this special £2 coin here, if it shows Charles Dickens, it's okay, pick. Which country gets represented by Charles Dickens on the coin, and which country gets represented by the Queen on the coin? And then we flip it, then we see who wins. It's like 23,000, right? It's our biggest size. 23,500? 23,400. So we got a very French tower to this. Just thinking, for this ship, I might actually... So, we are using 14-inch guns in our Dreadnoughts now, so... Well, tail in this case would be Dickens, so, Japanese! It is! As it landed on the Queen. It's... Do I really want to... Do I want to build on this one? Because... guns we use are a little too big for the hull. Like, going to the 12-inch works fine, but... I think it's a case of we need to wait for more techs before we... I think our biggest thing is we don't have any decent dockyard size. March... January, February. Let's do a 10-month build program, because we need to up our size of stuff. And then we'll have Impero come down to Mozambique, and then from Mozambique we will move on. You know what? I'm gonna start moving the fleet just independent operation up to, and a pleasure craft catches up with Impero in the Black Sea to let Impero know of the change of orders. Change of orders that the fleet is moving in on Okinawa from the start now. We'll take Okinawa. I think take Okinawa, then because we'll be in the same sea zone, we do Pengu and Formosa. You want to try again with that? Yeah, I could try again on the... It'll be on the experimental Dreadnought hull, because pretty much same hull but better tech stuff. But actually thinking about it though, we haven't really gained anything better tech-wise since... The only thing is we've done bigger... We can do bigger ships now. That's fine. I can't afford to do that. So yeah, we move into Naha, and then we'll take it over, I guess. Five turns for new turbines. Yeah, that's fine, avocado. Okay. Okay. I think one thing I probably do want to do in this campaign is a very similar approach to what I did in the late Japanese campaign before that got soft-locked. Which is... which is that when we get battle cruisers, I swap round to a more faster focused fleet. Although, unlike that Japanese campaign though, I'm not having the issues I've had with the slow ships here. If that makes any sort of sense. I've actually had a lot better experience with the slow ships in this campaign than I did the slow ships in the Japanese campaign, which I don't know why that is, but it is a thing. But yeah, we're now making it our focus and getting the Japanese out of the war. I guess. Mark II 13-inch guns. Bars, prop shafts. Empire of Japan. Okinawa. Where are we on this list? We're still the lowest economy. Still the lowest economy, but we're doing all this. Somehow. Doing all this. It's not how much money you have, it's how you use it. Yeah, the Chinese had a revolution, which is okay. Yep. But I think Impero's now joined up with the fleet, hasn't it? Yes. Impero has indeed joined up. Which is good. It's good as we're about to bring peace and prosperity to our relations with Japan shortly. Oh, come on, game. You know what? I'm going to end the stream here because I'm going to go to a different game. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you again. Sad, so let's go and silent.